So about continue working with the community, we got a lot of feedback. By the way, a lot of people who want to actually work with us, but nevertheless, I still had this trigger from before and my voice didn't actually count it for any of the sites yet. So today Monday, we're gonna host a Zoom call, international Zoom with the review of the main cabinets, main web version, and then we're gonna make a full deep dive into the system. And let's talk a little more about how everything gonna go from there. And yes, how it's all gonna be processed at the Monday when everything gonna be updated, including the web version and Telegram version of one trade. Actually, all the decision that all the members gonna make, it's gonna be in main cabinet of Arbcore, where there's gonna be a few buttons, options for those who want to continue working with the company and for those who want to terminate their contracts, get recalculated and let it go. For the first, you're gonna see the whole assets, the whole activity you had in your account, and in turn to activate it for one trade, you need to press button and agree with the terms, confirm that you want it, that you really want to keep working. And then with the same email, password, the same two-factor authentication, or username in Telegram, if it was through Telegram, of course, you can enter the one trade. And from that moment, we're gonna keep working. But if you want to terminate the contract, then you, the same in Arbcore, just make a recalculation, receive the assets, the whole schedule, how you're gonna get these assets, and the account and the assets in one trade that was transferred, there's going to be blocked, of course. There's no way you can get into that account if you, at some point after already making a decision, would want to change it. No, you either with us or you going away. It's basically one option. There is nothing you can change later. So think about it really, really much.
Следующий момент. То есть после того, когда наши партнеры определятся с решением, и вернее, когда они определятся с решением, после этого только начнется работа.
And yes, if we now talking about the whole work after the members gonna make a decision, we're gonna start the official interaction and working process after the certain number of members gonna, well, make a decision, of course. And yes, if we're talking about those groups, we actually waiting for leaders to show their activity, to actually make sure that they do something, that they put efforts in the work, because we know there are some leader groups where, for example, if I am the leader, I have 1,000 members, and in my community, it's just 3 choose yes, 5 choose no, 20 just get lost for somewhere. We're gonna cut such community out. So please, leaders, make sure to work with your community and with the people, of course, because after we're gonna get to a certain number, to the mass of our community, then the one trade start working and Arbcore start working with legal entities. One trade, of course, with physical entities, with the investors like before. And for those who already gonna make their choice, on the Monday or maybe later, they could get to know the resource and acquainted it with the materials, with FAQ as well, because no matter how it sounds, but FAQ, it's the essential source of knowledge about any projects. And with the current change of model, is even more important to check it out. As well, all the leaders also should check the network program condition, because there shouldn't be any questions about it. You need to see the changes and understand how everything works. It was easy before, yes, it was, and it's not complicated now, not that hard, but we make some work on certain backdoors and abusing of the system, and we're gonna make a great punishment for those who try to abuse them again. That is why we block the login from another devices or from the same devices and the same IP if you try to register, that kind of stuff. Okay, well, the main conclave and the leaders, well, they're consistent. So we're gonna, of course, reform the old group to form a new one. It doesn't mean that the previous group gonna be stripped for all their privileges. It means we're gonna need to reform the current stuff and put the right people here. Also, we are looking for ambassador of the company and for the first check. That's the person who will be on the very top of the whole structure. And believe me, this place is very vacant. We're gonna discuss it, who gonna be deserving this place, who show themselves, who proven themselves mostly and also loyal to the company. And I gonna choose that. I gonna vote for it. The Alexander, who's my right hand, gonna vote for it. The conclave do that as well. There's gonna be a whole discussion on that matter. Yes, that's about the whole leadership system and the conclave membership. And yes, now let's get to the good stuff. By the way, those who already want to terminate the contract, I guess you don't need to check the Zoom anymore. So yes, you can go. Those who gonna keep working with us, you are welcome to stay. Question for the cryptocurrency that we're gonna work with from the start. By the start, I mean when the main mass of members gonna make a choice to either stay or go. And after that, we're gonna open the access for arbitration for partners. Of course, we all know, we discussed that USDT will be the main cryptocurrency here, but with what crypto pairs it would work? There is three of them, which is Ethereum, Bitcoin, and on the third place, it's either be Polygon or XRP. So yes, the whole spread of crypto pairs is not so rich as before, but nevertheless, it's going to be increased with time. And we already have the dynamic. We work with our own funds, with our own pools, and we see the dynamic, and we know that this whole spread of arbitration is with the difference from 3 to 5, 5.5, or 6%. That's dependent, of course, on cryptocurrency with which we trade in and the pools, how they're forming, how fast, and so on. But nevertheless, it's not that different from before. And about arbitrage spread, by the way, it doesn't change at all. I mean, there were some discussions about what if we could take more from the community, but we didn't do that. All we changed is basically the whole method of how it's work. When before you needed to wait for a day to start earning, well, at night we were the one who earned funds. Now we're working 24/7, and it's 50 to 50 profit from every transactions, 50 to us, 50 to you. And the whole contract become a little smaller, not 250%, but 200, which is still quite a lot. And it also means that the country is going to be closed faster, which means the volume of the company will be increased more as well. And nevertheless, it's still going to be creating more contracts. We're going to work and pay the obligation of 200%, and then the contract closed, we receive the deposit, and so on. It also means that the contract closed not in 4 or 5 months, but in 2.5 or 3 months as well. About the network system and the partnership program, of course. Since there were some changes, not a lot, but there were more counting on the network rewards. We had 10% from income of your low partners below you. Now it's 3%, and there is a different amount of levels in depth, not 21 but 33, but of course we get into more details on the Monday. But we make some calculations, of course, and with the same progression pace, with the same amount of effort. When you create in a big structure, your income, actually your profit from the network program, despite that it's not 10 but 3%, it will be increasing. It will be more profitable because there is different levels and different amount of partners on each levels. There was a whole rebalance of the structure. And it also brings more motivation for the leaders and for the members to actually work deeper into the network program. But of course, we're gonna get to check it out for live at the Monday. We're gonna check it through the web version. On the Telegram, it's less complicated. I mean, there is less information to show, but on the web version, there is a lot we need to check out and show as well. And yes, there is going to be 3 different balances for every kind of reward. The direct partnership rewards, balance for the network program, and balance for cashback, all with different limitations, except for cashback. But nevertheless, it's all work constructed that way so it could work properly. And there was also some calculations if on a previous network program, the partner could get to the maximum of 7,000 USDT equivalent per day. It was basically the maximum. Now it's from 25 to 30,000. And it's, of course, depending on the ranks to the maximum, but nevertheless, you can see the difference. Of course, there is some holding system we had, and since we're now working in 50 to 50, 3% is basically included what we get in to compensate the whole program, the whole network program, the whole cashback, and so on. There is limitations as before. There's different, but everything to actually cover the reward system. And the feedback, it's going to be, well, of course, more than good for us. We're going to check how many people are going to stay with us, even if it's going to be 50% of all amount of partners. It can get to the volumes of basically 10 or 15 millions, which is is our level. We constructed this marketing, we get it through our minds to make sure it works with our resources, with our current program, with our current way, and how we go in with a different model. So yes, nobody gonna think too long for either to stay or to terminate the contract, and those who are going to continue working with us will get their assets slowly unfrozen. And the partnership program should work right from the start, which is why basically we constructed the system to look like that. Okay, now about the partners who are going to continue working with us, either you're in Telegram or in web version. It is advised for you, so you can actually fill up some part of your profile so we can confirm it is you. It's not for the KYC. The whole KYC is could be requested, but not through us. You're gonna get it through Samsung, and it's only requested if we're gonna spot some kind of a multi-accounting or other abuse of the network program, everything to try receive rewards that you're not supposed to receive. And well, they could be a pretty bad results for you because there is, of course, there's gonna be some outcomes from such behavior, including that continue working with us could be impossible. So please be honest. Either even your chance to make a new deposit could not be done. It could be at risk, and it's not what we request, and it's what regulators request to check that everything is correct. By meaning the details of your profile, I not mean like a passport or something. I mean surname, your name, date of birth, telephone number, at least one social media, so we can actually make a contact with you and confirm it is you, or ask some questions if we spot that you using multi-accounting. And after that, you're gonna save everything. And to the moment when you activate the trading bot, the arbitration one, you're gonna get through confirmation of whole bunch of different agreement. There's a lot of it, and we already mentioned before how much of that is here, which is agreement with the risk, agreement with the rules, and so on. There's a whole scroll that's going down and down and down, and it's quite a lot. But in the same time, you still have time before our respectful community making a choice to check everything out, and then you would be out of any questions. There would be no need to say things like, I didn't know it, I didn't read it, I didn't have time. You have time for now. You have time to check everything out before the main mass of our community gonna make a decision and the official work will start. It's gonna be better for you because you are actually checking with what you're working with, which is important, when you conclude any kind of contract. And okay, now let's get to the old accounts and old communities. Of course, we talked a lot, and we know there's quite often cases of multi-accounting, and we could possibly just ban every single one of them, doing the whole blacklist, a whole graveyard, I guess. But okay, we didn't done that. We still given a chance, and for those people who make like two accounts, family quotes, please don't use your grandparents who are maybe like above 90 years. It's not appropriate actually, and now it's not appropriate by the rules of the platform, as well as you shouldn't register and using accounts and fill in the profile with the people who underage, who like under 18. Yes, we know there's a lot of young men here who actually know stuff about arbitration, maybe even trading themselves. But if so, please ask adults to fill in accounts, someone who can actually confirm the age, because if for some reason you will get under KYC, it's gonna end bad for you, because we strictly, by the rule, couldn't actually work with underage or with the people above a certain age. So yes, please make sure of that. And yes, now since our companies have licenses, now exchange, 2 licenses, brokerage and crypto licenses, it means we can actually pay taxes. I mean, you can actually pay taxes with the legal source of income, money certainly legal, you can use them, and we can also provide with documentation on how it was actually provided, by the quarter, by the months, by the year. We make a certain share with this privilege, because of course we're working with the Euro jurisdiction now, and we have such benefits for everyone who wants such a document. And that's the whole information I wanted to share with you today, because we certainly couldn't gather even more for today. So let's keep it, of course, steady, step by step. We're gonna end with all the question about Arbcore, since we are going with our development, we go in with our pace, and if we try to conclude to what results we actually get, we are 4 steps ahead of our development that we initially wanted, and the analysis, not only by analysis of trading, arbitration, which was already our own unique core feature, but also with analysis of our project and work with foundations. By the way, one of the foundations already confirmed they hosted their own independent research of us, of course, and they make a conclusion that they want to collaborate with us, they want to work with us. And if we're talking about the numbers, the starting position is basically 50 million euros in our development to working with us. And believe me, that's a great sign for us. It's an achievement, because foundation never in their life gonna try to invest their funds, even a single coin, to the project where there is no guarantees. Never they gonna invest in a project where they could lost something, or the project that wouldn't gonna make it up for them. So this is a great instrument for analysis for us. And there's two another foundations with their own research with the pending position, but we believe we're gonna get a green light on that. And with working with the community, since we working with the European jurisdiction, we're working with the legal entities, and we want to work with the physical entities as well. If we're talking about money, we have foundations. But if we're talking about products, our group, the whole community stuff, we want to see the community without multi-accounting. We want community without fakes that also working with us, that's honest with us, respectful to each other and to us as well, and spread information about our resource, about our brand in the internet. The true people, true leaders, true stuff. And yes, on the Monday, the Zoom call gonna be really important, so don't miss it out. By the way, the time when we're gonna start the international Zoom call on Monday could be a little earlier or a little later by the time, but we're gonna announce the accurate time later on a Monday, most likely. So yes, I thank you all for coming in. I thank you for your attention. Have a great day, night, evening, or morning, depending on the time frame. Thank the audience. Thanks to me, I guess the translator. It was my pleasure as well to talk with all you. So have a great day and see you on Monday. Goodbye.